Mihi nui kia koutou ko te tūhono kia poe tō tatara, no mai haere mai, te kaupapa, e Hui E. Welcome everyone, and it's great that you're here, and for our ones that are online, oh sorry, over there, I was just looking for the camera for a moment. Welcome, and thank you for joining us. So this morning we're going to start off with the karakia timatana, but we're going to do it with the waiata, and some of you may already be familiar with it, like a tautoko home. And so Ashley's going to action play the ukulele. For those online, can you please just mute and do the waiata, because it will echo.
E Te Whanau Whakataka te hoa ki te Hui E taiki.
What we're going to do now is organisation or people you represent. That would be a beautiful thing to do. And then I'm going to pass to Abby online, and she can help facilitate everybody online to do the same. So I will start again just to show you how it's done, I guess. So kia ora, Kōsira Morris Te Whanganui-a-Tara. I've been on the board at Hui E for about a year now, and it's a pleasure to be here. So I'll pass to you, Pania, and then maybe we can just go around.
Mama, na te kaupata, na te raupā, na iwi, te tau te papa, no motu wera papa kāinga. So with the badge, I'm born and raised in Luck, and I have been part of Hui E for a number of years, on and off, and lovely to see some familiar faces here and new faces. So kia ora.
Tēnā koutou katoa. I'm daughter, Ray. I'm from Waiheke Island, and I work for the Zero Waste Network, and I am the departing co-chair with Pania. I've been with Hui E for 6 years, so it's really great to see you all. Andrea.
Ngā mihi nui kia koutou katoa. Ko Pirungi a te manga, ko Waipā te awa, ko Ngāti Maniapoto te iwi, ko Andrea Jerry Ryan tōku ingoa. I live down in Invercargill, but my iwi is Ngāti Maniapoto on my dad's side. And I work at the Cancer Society as a health promotion and Māori engagement manager. And I'm on the board. And kia ora whānau, it's lovely to be here.
Kia ora, Rochelle Stewart Allen, tōku ingoa. I'm the Kai Whakahaere Mātua, the Chief Executive of Hui E Community Aotearoa.
Tēnā koutou katoa, I'm Prabha Ravi. Come here from Big Easier. I'm an ethnic Indian. I migrated to New Zealand about 23 years ago with my family. I'm a management consultant and also founder and creative director of Rashad School of Dance and Indian Classical Dance School. I've been on Hui E board for a year now, and I also chair the Finance and Risk Committee. So great to see you all here, and thank you for making the time. Thank you.
Kia ora koutou katoa, ko Wania Ivers aho, ki kai whakahaere kaupapa ki Hui E Community Aotearoa. Yeah. So yeah, it's really great to see you. I'm Wania. I'm one of the project managers at Hui E. Pass over to Safi. Camera will work. If you can't hear us on Zoom, please just.
Hi. Hi. Kia ora, I'm Safir Manasa, also Kai Whakahaere Kaupapa, project manager for Hui E. And I think 2 days ago was my 1 year anniversary. So hopefully more to come. But yeah, it's great to be here and to see how much we've done over a year, and also to get to meet you all here and on Zoom.
Tēnā koutou katoa, ko Lana Takunua. I'm a student up at Victoria University of Wellington, but I'm also the project coordinator for Ignite Consultants Wellington. And we've just started up a partnership with Hui E this year, which is really exciting. So yeah, thank you, Henry.
Tēnā koutou katoa, ko Kirsten Williams Tapuinga. I am the very new head of the Tūhono, the Philanthropic Foundation. Next 12 months. So, Kia ora koutou, ko Valerie Williams Tapuinga. I'm a community advisor with my Hapori for the last 4 months, but prior to that, I was with the Top Foundation. Kia ora tātou, ko Inawedi Tokuinwa. I am the Policy Research Manager at Philanthropic New Zealand and really enjoyed collaborating with Hui E on issues of importance in the community sector.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hui E, born and bred in Vietnam, and been here for 52 weeks. So I'm here to observe and be the first day as they speak. Thank you.
Kia ora koutou katoa, ko Chining Te Maunga, ko Yangzi Te Awa, ko Haina Ahu, ko Hong Tuku Ingoa. Hello everyone, my name is Hong. I am from China. I am the president of the Winter Young Chinese Association. I am very grateful to being supported by Whakahaere and Hui E. Yeah, I'm very grateful for being invited here. Thank you so much.
Tēnā koutou, ko CK o, I mahi ana o ki te tōputanga, ki te aroha o Aotearoa. So I work with Emma at Philanthropic New Zealand, and it's great to be here today. Thank you, Michelle.
Hi everyone, it's so nice to see everyone in person. I'm loving the vibe. So I think we're going to cross to you to help everyone online.
Kia ora, everyone. My name is Abi Chinaya, and I am the communications advisor for Hui E. I work part-time for this amazing organization, and outside of my mahi for Hui E, I am a fine art documentary photographer and writer. And we'll go around the room and introduce ourselves. Catherine, we'll start with you. You're on mute, Catherine.
Nā mihi dui. Ko Catherine Pete Takoingoa, he taka te tiriti aho. I'm an old face from the forerunner of Hui E called Association of Non-Government Organisations in Aotearoa. So there you go, very old. And basically I just have been working in the sector to build respect for organisers in the sector. That's really my passion. And currently I'm involved mostly with Network Waitangi o Tautahi and One Voice Te Reo Kotahi.
Thank you, Catherine. Cheyenne, over to you.
Tēnā koutou katoa mihi mahana kia koutou. Ko Cheyenne heke tōku ingoa, huri tēnei no Ngāti Hine, I te taho tōku pāpā, huri tēnei no Ngāti Parau. I run an enterprise in partnership with my sister Heidi Meki called Kupai Law and Consultancy, doing all sorts of different mahi and also volunteer quite a bit for our iwi. So progressing a rebuild for one of our iwi marae. Kia ora.
Kia ora, Cheyenne. Jules, over to you.
Ahi ahi mai e koutou, ko Jules Piri tōku ingoa ko whangataua te maunga, ko Whanganui-a-Tara, ko Tinana te Waka, ko te Raroa te iwi, ko Kim Tuku Whānau. I am here, I actually work for local government, so don't hate me, don't stab me. I work for Auckland Council for what we call the Western Initiative. And in my spare time, I work on Māori response in a place called Hobsonville Point here in Waitakere, and do lots of other things with my life. Kia ora.
Thank you, Jules. Heidi from Volunteering New Zealand.
Kia ora. Ko Heidi Quinn, tōku ingoa. I'm the volunteer management lead for Volunteering New Zealand, and we've had the pleasure to work in collaboration with Hui E over the years. And yeah, I'm here to represent the VNZ family because everybody else is on holiday at the moment. I'm all on my own in the office. So very pleased to be here.
Thank you, Heidi. William, over to you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Māori, but I prefer to speak English. Kia ora. I'm joking. Ngā mihi nui ki koutou kua tai mai e hui mai nei I tēnei ahi ahi. Ka nui te kō e hari ana e hui mai nei. Look, I'm really impressed with the enthusiasm in the gathering today. It gives me hope and encouragement that something on the ground is actually happening. I'm originally from Christchurch. I know Catherine very well. I was part of the Ngaitahu settlement. I'm Ngaitahu, and now living in Auckland. So I'm experiencing firsthand the cultural clashes between Chinese, Koreans and Indians and Samoans. And it's quite an unusual mix here. But look, I'm thrilled to be part of this organisation and what it stands for. And I think there's some challenging and exciting times coming ahead. And I'm also pleased to see the gender balance is about right. Thank you.
Thank you. Martha.
Kia ora koutou, tālofa. My name is Martha Yosia. I am of Pacific descent from the islands of Tuvalu and Tokelau. So I'm here on behalf of Ngā Uri o Whititera Male Moana Trust as one of the board members. So Ngā Uri o Whititera Male Moana Trust is a trust that is based in Porirua and was first established in 2013 as a kapahaka group. And then it kind of evolved over time, and it's now catering to both Pacifica and Māori. And we created officially opened a new youth hub at the start of this year, so in Feb. Our establishment focuses on 4 key areas, our MVP FAF and takatapui of the moana, and also education, culture and creative arts and community service. Thank you to Rochelle for the invite. Glad to be here. Happy to see everyone here, and looking forward to seeing what we can take away from this hui. Kia ora.
Kia ora. Thank you so much, Martha. Sue.
Kia ora tātou, ko Sue Barker tōku ingoa. Hello everyone, my name is Sue Barker. Apologies for my sound, I haven't joined by phone, so my sound might be a bit funny.
I'm a lawyer specialising in charities law. I worked very closely with Angola and have also worked closely with Hui E over the years. For the last 2 years, I've been on sabbatical, undertaking research into the question, what does a world-leading framework of charities law look like? And you may have seen that the government has released a charities amendment bill with submissions closing in less than 28 days. Stephen Moe and I have been drafting a letter to the Select Committee requesting more time to make submissions, and thank you to Philanthropy New Zealand for putting that out in their newsletter today. So if you would like to sign that letter, please do. We're going to try to get it to the Select Committee and ask for more time, because this is basically 20 years in the making, and it really is important that we try to get it right. Can I just also say that I apologise that I have to leave. I don't know if you're aware, but you've scheduled the meeting at the same time as Charity Services annual meeting. So I'm actually going to go and switch over to that meeting, but I just wanted to say kia ora and tautoko, and thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. So, Yvonne.
Kia ora tātou. Yvonne Trask, I'm from the Gift Trust.
Thank you, Yvonne. And Susie, we've done you. Kim.
Kia ora koutou, I'm Kim Sweeney. Apologies if my sound is a bit odd also. I've had some tech difficulties, so I'm on my phone. I am representing Te Taritai Whenua, or the Department of Internal Affairs, and I work with the Hāpai Hāpori Community Operations Branch. So obviously it's incredibly important to us that we understand what's happening across the sector, and this is a really great opportunity to connect into the awesome work that Hui E is doing and to hear more today. So yeah, really delighted to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kim. Susie, I'm so sorry you had not gone yet. Over to you.
That's all right. Kia ora tātou, ko Susie Schwartz toku ingoa. I'm from the Todd Foundation. We are proud supporters of Hui E, and it's a pleasure to be here today. Kia ora.
Kia ora. I think that is us in the online room.
Tēnā tātou katoa. So now we are going to have a look at our minutes from last year, and I think all of you will have a copy there. And I just want to check if there are any amendments, and if everyone is happy, we can adopt those minutes. It's the adoption of the agenda first. Is that right?
Excuse me, can you hold the mic closer to your mouth so we can hear you?
Sure.
Please.
Nami. So first of all, we are going to adopt the agenda. So the agenda today, so we've had our karakia, whakawhanaungatanga, and this is the adoption of the agenda. And you'll see up there that is exactly what it is. Can everyone see that? Okay, and then the trustees report, what we delivered, annual performance report, finances. We're going to be doing a farewell, little short one for our beautiful board members here. Question and answers, whakawhanaungatanga karakia, and then that's the end. Kai and Cordu. So on that note, are we happy with the AGM minutes from 2021? Okay, aye. Awesome. Okay, and so yeah.
Okay, back to me. As I said before, you know, we have some expressions of interest that have come through as for new trustees. And so we are going to, we've had a really good mix and amazing people, which I would like to introduce. First of all, Bill, Karatiana, so also whānau of the south. We have Bill on the screen. Now, Bill, are you accepting this position as trustee?
Yeah, look, I'll send you a better photo. That's a terrible.
Thank you so much. And then we have Jules Hintley. Thank you for your expression of interest. You know, like I said, they're all amazing. So I'm just asking, you accepting this position as trustee?
I will accept this position of trustee. I would also like to change my photo. Kia ora.
Cheyenne, Nikki, thank you also. Are you wanting to express, you've expressed interest, do you accept the position as trustee?
Kia ora, no, yes, and I'm okay all round.
Fantastic, look, and amazing tautoko whenua caucus. We have interim chair Andrea, who will be progressing the rest of the meeting after we've completed this part.
Okay, all right, and we also have two new trustees for the Tangata Tiriti caucus. We have someone in the room, Hua. Do you accept the position? Yes, great. And I'm not sure if we have Sui Hua online. We do not, but we've talked to her and she's happy to accept. Yes, yeah. So in addition to the 5 on the screen, we also have Andrea, Sarah and Prabha will make the 8 board members. And until the first meeting of that new board, Andrea and Sarah are going to be interim co-chairs as Tanya and I are departing. So I think we're moving on and I'm staying up here to tell you about what we've been doing. So this is the trustees report. I think we won't go to slides. Okay. So we've had a busy year. I think we all know that COVID has still got its reaches across everything. And we got through lots of things here. Excuse me, guys. Yeah. Thank you, Rochelle. Okay, so yes, COVID's still a thing, and we know that our community organisations are more stretched than ever, and we're very, very proud of the work that Hui E is doing to tautoko the sector as a whole, and the important mahi that is occurring across the country. So we know that our community rōpū have been delivering more with less in these times, and Hui E has also increased their mahi and our mahi, achieving a lot with quite a small team who are here today, and Ari is online. And this really couldn't have happened without the support of our great partnerships, and it's really great to have some of them in the room today. So Volunteering New Zealand, Inspiring Communities, Community Research and Philanthropy New Zealand. Thank you for the work, the mahi that we're doing and sharing. As a peak body, we continue to represent and share your voices and korero with the government department and philanthropic funders to help drive the system shift that is so desperately needed. And that's a really important job, and I guess it's one that is often quite hidden, but it is happening, and thank you, Rochelle, for the work that you guys are doing in that space. Very importantly, we've continued to embed our commitments to Te Tiriti or Waitangi across Hui E. So last year we developed a statement of intent, and that process means that we now ground our mahi in the po of kaitiakitanga, manaakitanga, ōreititanga and hihiritanga. There's also important to acknowledge our funders, in particular the ongoing support of the Department of Internal Affairs and Lotteries. And this year we've also welcomed new partnerships with the Todd Foundation and the J.R. Mackenzie Trust. huge thank you to all of the trustees who've gifted so much of our time. And Tanya, you're leaving this year. So thank you so much. I have learned so much from all of you and really appreciate all of the insight and mātauranga that you've brought. And finally, huge thank you to Rochelle and Ronya, Sakuya and Abi. Thank you so much for your tireless mahi, for building our sustainability and creating extensive networks across the Motu. Thank you very much.
Kia ora everybody. I think I'll hold it because I think the sound is better online. So you'll see on your table our annual impact report. So you're welcome to take that with you. We have a few to distribute if you'd like to share anybody to any as well. So I'm effectively just going to give you a little summary of what we've achieved this year. But the more kind of comprehensive detail is in the report. Also, we've got some case studies in there of some of the organisations that we've worked with. So if you want to understand a little bit more about what we do, we thought it was easier for their words to explain that than for us to do it. So the first thing that we've done is building strength and stability. So we do three things in that. We identify, help community groups identify and have more equitable access to the skills and the expertise that they need. We help them to increase their capacity and capability and help them be more connected, strengthened and resilient. So just these are some of the examples that we've got here. You don't need to read all the things on the screen. This is all literally out of the annual report, but we just want to give you some lovely photos and images here. Some examples about how we do that is we do a number of free online hui for community sector organisations. We have a particular focus on tier 3 and 4 organisations and fully voluntary organisations, mainly because they are the ones that are the least resourced and find it the most difficult to get this kind of expertise. They're really busy just delivering grassroots and they just simply don't have time to do this. So we've done a whole lot of hours, as you can see, 17 free hui. That works out as about 910 hours that we've delivered across the last year with our number of participants. We also have our ongoing Hoa Putia program, which we started running in the first lockdown in 2020, which is providing grant writing support with volunteer grant writers to write your first funding application. Ronya and I have been working on this all that time. So we ended it after the first lockdown and then there was a big call for it. So we continued on and then Zaka's been picking up the program this year. The reason why we keep doing it is it's a really good way to link into those groups, to hear what their needs are, to bring them on board, to be able to then connect them with other people that can help them or other resources. It's kind of the way to give an offer to them or something that's really practical. So it's an incredibly popular program and we continue on doing it. And there's lovely two men from Kaurau and from our photography project. So they are a group of beautiful older community members helping out their local community. They've got a really exciting, fantastic community group going there. And then we also provide NGO advisory services. So we do that on the phone, in person. Often people just literally don't know where to go, or they need someone with expertise and experience to be able to reflect back on what they're saying or what steps they might go to. So we have a lot of connections all around the Motu, right across the country, across different areas, other community groups, peak bodies, government, intergovernment, funding advisors, community advisors, and across philanthropic funders. So we can give people recommendations, we can point them in the right direction. The next thing that we do is enabling partnerships and collaboration. So we connect community groups through new opportunities for meaningful and collaborative relationships, building strong collective voices across the sector, and better shared decision making. So examples of how we've done this is skilled volunteers. So you've already met Lana from Ignite. So we've partnered with them this year The Ho'apotia program is partnering with KPMG. So we've been working with them for about 18 months. We originally ran a pilot and now they channel through a number of skilled volunteers, and we're working with some other corporates to develop this program, which will then expand from grant writings to support to also strategic planning and HR and project management volunteers. And then this year we also worked with the Good Data Institute. So we ran a hackathon early in the year. They took 2 of our data sets from the data that we collected last year, 2021 and 2020. And we had open data sets about the impacts of COVID on community groups. So they did a fantastic job. There's a community dashboard where you can search through the data yourself with graphics on our website. They also, another group did a fantastic analysis of small community organisations and the challenges that they found with COVID. So there's some great graphics on there as well. Last year we piloted our Tūhono Ora wellbeing project. And we were wanting to use a Te Whare Tapawha model of wellbeing. This came out and grew out of the research that we did, but also what we hear a lot, that it's very, very tough for community leaders after 2 years of COVID, but they were already stretched before COVID arrived. Now they're even more stretched and very tired. And I know some of you in the room here because you're nodding at me. So we started Tūhono Ora, and then that has then progressed actually this year into the new financial year, which I'll be talking about next year, but we've got a new podcast called Tato, which is 6 interviews with community leaders talking about their hauora, so their well-being, and we're about to record series 2 in November. And we will continue on with some more delivery of the well-being programs as we go through next year. Also, we did a massive amount of work, particularly Ronya, on the formation of the SDG Alliance. So we had worked in the SDG space, and Ronya pulled together the People's Report. And then the next step was for us to finish up with Hui E owning that, and then do the preparation and the transfer across for the SDG Alliance. So then we handed that over to a working group to be running that. And then our final thing we do is trying to shift the system. So this is the most invisible work that we do, mainly because when you're shifting the system, you can't necessarily go out really loudly and talk about all the conversations that you're having to try to slowly inch the monkey forward. So we, here are just some of the ways that we do it. So we lead kōrero about systems change. We occasionally throw down a challenge. If you've been on my LinkedIn, you might see after I've been travelling with Hui that I'm starting to write blogs for funders directly. And so I'm kind of on a roll now, so I think I'll be continuing to do that. Now I've kind of found my voice. I travelled with Hui for 8 days, so now that I've found my voice, I think I'm not going to be quiet. So we try to drive better resourcing for the sector. We ensure that really the vision of who the sector is and the incredible mahi and contribution that we make is more recognised and acknowledged. And then we use a tiriti relationship framework to ensure that tiriti o waitangi is more visible across the sector. So some of the ways that we did that, so I've already mentioned the COVID wellbeing research. So we had more than 600 community groups. We had a number of focus groups as well last year, trying to pick up particularly the voices of Māori, Pacific and ethnic community groups that are not necessarily going to respond or find it more difficult to respond online. And so that's a fantastic piece of research, and it fed on from the research that we did in 2020. We partnered with Volunteering New Zealand on that. In 2020, we partnered with Philanthropic New Zealand and Centre for Social Impact. Data visualization, so I've already talked a little bit about the hackathon, and we're hoping to get into more data. That's kind of part of my background. I'm really keen for us to be using our data and telling stories more. We're working with someone in Auckland who's looking at some tech solutions for monitoring and evaluation, so we're going to continue on and having kōrero with him. And then we published 2 pepima, the first one on funding and the second one on wellbeing for the sector. So the goal of these white papers, the goal was that they spoke to policy people in government. That was the primary audience. We wanted to represent that research that we've done in a way that would be directly applicable to the mahi that they're doing. So we've got another one on service delivery about to come out about that. So that's it from me. Kia ora. So Barbara, I'm going to hand over to you to do the finances.
Thank you, Rochelle. That was really impressive, and I'm quite pleased to be part of all of this as part of the organization. So thank you. It's my pleasure to present the financial report, especially when we are making a bit of a surplus. So it's always nice to report on that. So I'm just going to highlight some of the key points from the finance report. We have ended the 2021-22 with a surplus of $31,574. This is the third year we have made a surplus, so that's quite, despite COVID, so we've done quite well. And you've just heard about all the activities as well. So we've been quite fortunate to have been in that position where we've also made a bit of a surplus. We are carrying across 75,000 in income in advance. This is due to grants running across financial years as well. With only, we only have about 3 full-time equivalent staff. The majority of our spending is on salaries. Our funding by majority comes from grants and contracts for services, as you all know. We are working on a new funding strategy for 2023, which will see us diversify our funding streams as well. So we want to make sure that we're not putting all eggs in one basket or very dependent on one particular big fund, but we want to really distribute our risks as well, just managing our risks. We're working, we welcomed a new multi-year funding this year from the Todd Foundation and J.R. McKinsey Trust. We thank them for helping us deliver our mahi. Our net asset position at year end is 119,646 this year, which builds on our 88,072 position at the end of last financial year. So that's that 31,574 surplus that we made this year. We're continuing to develop stable funding for Hui E and are working towards building up 6 months reserves as a buffer. All these years, we've never had this opportunity to think about a reserve because whatever money we got, we have been spending for the project. So we've started to proactively look at how can we actually build our reserve and be a bit secure, at least for the for the first 6 months when things get really tight, and COVID was a classic example of that. We are currently waiting on our auditors to complete our annual audit review. This was delayed as our accountants had a heavy load. As you can imagine, everybody is getting through that workload and getting the reports done. So the figures in our annual impact report remain draft at this point. We are expecting our final performance report by the end of October. We'll be submitting that report to charity services, and you will be able to find it under our charity listing if you wish to see our final report. So that's pretty much from us on how we went through the last financial year. So if you have any questions, or if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact Rochelle in the first instance. No, I'm joking, either me or Rochelle. So thank you so much.
I think we're wrapping up, and the last thing on the formal part of the thing is to, I really shouldn't be the person doing this. Okay, I'll hand this over. Will you sit down?
E mihi ana ki a korua, tēnā korua, mō tō mahi, mō tō awhi, mō tō aroha, tēnā korua.
And we'd just like to thank you both for steering us through this last period of Hui E and the board. And we're delighted, aren't we, Adrian, to be stepping into the fold. But I think you've both given so much of your time to this organisation. That's been amazing. And we just want to collectively, from the whole of Hui E, thank you for your service and for your generosity. And yeah,
thank you. Yeah, thanks everyone.
Kia ora. So that's all the formal part. Now, if you've just got any Q&As, we can go through that. Also online, you can just type them in the chat and we'll go through it. Ronnie can call them out. Anyone in the room have any questions? Anything's unclear? So,
it's not a question,
thank you. Yes, so says thank you for the amazing mahi and the incredible work that we've done this year. Anyone else? Any questions online? Susie says fantastic mahi. Cheyenne says, no partai, but thank you all. Great to be here to tautoko this important kaupapa. Thank you. Susie saying, please to see me blogging.
More to come.
Yeah, there's much more to come. Also, I have another fantastic wahine tour. So Vu gave her a good chatting to as well about speaking up. So I'm also going to be here in person reminder to also start being really upfront. And it's kind of easier for us as a peak body to be able to have a voice on behalf of the sector. There's a lot of concern at the community groups of the fragility of their funding, that they may lose it if they start challenging or speaking up. So I'm happy to do that. So just to tell you a little bit about the Vule visit. So this is actually in this current financial year, but we took him, we worked with Dunedin Community Builders and Volunteering New Zealand to bring him to New Zealand. So he's the blogger and writer from nonprofitaf.com. And he's very well known for also challenging the systems and much more equitable, the need for much more equitable systems and processes for community groups, particularly those groups that are underrepresented in the funding world and in government. So I travelled with him for those 8 days. We went to Otipoti and Dunedin Community Builders, had some fantastic events there, including we went to Pukitaraki Marae out in Karatana and did a really fantastic paha walk. Then we came to Te Whanganui-a-Tara and we had a parliamentary event. So we, the Minister for Community and Voluntary Sector, partnered with us and Volunteering New Zealand to have a parliamentary event. We also had a great dinner. Hong was there on Friday night. We had a very relaxed, very fun dinner where we dreamed up lots of ideas about how to more greatly improve the profile of the community sector, including maybe a TikTok account. So we'll be following up on that. We come up with many ideas. I'm not sure we record them all, but and then Vu and I had a little travel in the weekend. We went to Hobbiton, which was very nice, and went to Mount Maunganui and had a look at the beautiful beach there. And then we went to Tamaki Makaurau and we partnered with Foundation North up there and ran a public event. And then we had a lunch for Māori, Pacific and ethnic community leaders to meet with Vu. So we had about 20 people over that lunch, and then PNZ ran a funders event with Vu in the afternoon. So it was very sad to put it back on the plane. We tried really hard to try to get him to come to stay, and I'm still sort of working on that. But it was a really great example of us being able to get out and about. It was wonderful to see all the different community groups and the incredible mahi. I've just posted up on my LinkedIn about meeting Kelly Francis from Whenua Warrior, and we went out to Ihumātou and sat with her, and she's done amazing food security charity. and they are just doing amazing stuff, wanting to build 600 community groups and build gardens in people's houses so that they can have more food security for their whānau. So we just met many wonderful people like her. We're going to start to still work out what we're going to do with all that information. I'm still trying to process it in my head, and we'll continue working with our partners on that. So no other questions online? All right, so kia ora everybody. Yeah, so I'm just going to hand over to Andrea and she's going to finish us off. If you're in the room, very welcome to come and have some kai and kōrero with us. Thank you to everyone online. I really appreciate you signing in. Looking forward to having our new board members. You'll be hearing from me with a request for better photos. And we'll be putting that up next week. And thank you so much to our exiting board members. It's been awesome. And last but not least, Ronya, Zaka, and Ari, thank you. You are really the people that keep me going here. And I've missed you both. Both Zaka and Ronya have been travelling. Ronya was working in Germany. And Zaka was sort of working and posting on his Instagram. He was actually on leave, but part of that was just keeping on top of his emails. But yeah, thank you so much. It's fantastic to have you here. Really, you just all deliver over and above what's required, and wish we could pay you more. But thank you for the love and the passion that you have for both the sector and for Hui as well. Kia ora, and thanks, Alvin.
Oh, tēnei te mihi kia koutou katoa. I just want to say to our board, I'm looking forward to working with you all. And hear this, I'm the interim co-chair. Interim, so get ready, karawhiua, tangata whenua. So I'll just do a karakia whakamutunga and all our aroha to you. And we will miss you. But at least you've got the pounamu that my brother's a pounamu artist, and he's given them, he's made some very beautiful pieces that wherever you go, take a part of Hui E with us, and just know that our aroha and all our gratitude goes with that. And at least you've got the Māori in that pounamu to represent Hui E. So tēnei te mihi kia koutou. Ka inoi tātou, kia tātou katoa, te atawhai o tō tātou aere ki a iwikarauti, me te aroha o te atua, me te whiwhinga tahitanga ki te wairua tapu ake, āmene. E te whānau, sing a last song. Peace be with you all the time, and let's have a nice kai. Maybe I'll bless the kai right now, just before we do that. So, ka inoi tātou, e te atua manakitia e nei kai, hei oranga mō tātou tinana, whanaia o mātou wairua ki te taro o te ora ko ihukareiti tō tātou āriki. Āmene. Amen.
Bye everyone. Bye. Akite.
Akite. Akone. We'll see you soon. So I'm not in the interim chair. No.